Hello, Reese. I'm making you this video for the speech I did today in Toastmasters. Thank you for watching. I just want to point out that I'm going to be dramatic in this video. I'm not telling you not to vote. You should actually vote, express your opinion and everything. But I just want to point out some things that I think are issues in today's society. I don't vote. The reason I don't vote is because a simple vote won't fix these issues that you see here. Let's start with Adam Smith. People know him as the father and founder of capitalism. He's a political and moral philosopher that designed capitalism to serve the common good. In other words, you can think of him as Robin Hood. So one of the things he did is he divided up tax brackets depending on how much money you make. In the 60s, it was as high as 91% in the highest bracket. In the 70s, it was 70%. And then from the 90s on, it's been about 40%. But if you crunch the numbers over here, the the top bracket, they would, if they take out the tax, they would still have 280,000 to spare. And in the bottom bracket, it would be 10,000. Also, you could think about how people can lower this even more. They could file things under business expenses, or they could donate, which is then again easier for people that have more to start off with. So the whole point of this is that you can do tax money, take out from the people, from the rich mostly, and give to the poor through social welfare. This is representative democracy. This is the House of Representatives, and I talked a little bit about how they are controlled by lobbyists. So, money is power, and sometimes when people have the position of power that they have, they uh, they can get influenced by these lobbyists that paid money for their campaign. Not only that, but poor people don't get the chance of lobbying, so they're not represented as well. Next, I want to talk about gerrymandering. So let's say we have this map that has two political parties, pink and purple. That gerrymandering would be dividing up the ballot, uh, the poll. Sorry, they divide up the polling stations based off what's most convenient for them. So in this case, if we have three polling stations, it would be 2-1 pink wins by 2-1. But if we have gerrymandering, you'd have two polling stations and pink would win 2-0. So it would be like taking advantage of how how you draw up the lines for the polling stations. And people take this to the very extreme. So this is not the worst case. There's worse. Next, I talked about how there's people say vote something on issue one, vote on issue two. Um, but what does it actually mean? So when you go to the ballot, you get things like this where you get to decide on a yes or no basis on things like that. But the issue with this is confusing lingo and it's hard to understand for certain people. For the educated, it's not so bad, but some people, who's to guarantee that everyone can understand this, especially foreigners? Also, there was on the most recent 2024 election ballot, there was an issue about stopping gerrymandering, which is obvious. Everyone should vote yes to stop gerrymandering. But the issue is, how are they going to stop it? What is the solution they proposed? And in this case, you don't get to choose. Yeah, maybe this solution might be better, or maybe we should think about this. You just get to say yes or no. If you say no, or if you say yes, let's stop gerrymandering, we'll go with whatever solution you come up with. But who's to say that they come up with a good solution? Okay, the next thing, Monopoly. I asked the group, do you know what the common theme of this game is? So if you have an answer, what is the common theme of Monopoly? Well, uh, well, the answer I was looking for is that the rich get richer in this case. And that's what happens in real life. You could see the people that are higher in the percentile, the monetary distribution have so much money, and it's so easy for them to get richer. This is an actual representation of 2013. I think the data is the top 1%. If they have so much money, you could see it right there. They owned 40% of the nation's wealth. That's 3 million people, top 1%, 40% of all nations' wealth. The top 1% also owns 50% of all stocks. Which is the crazy thing is that the lower 50%, so 50% of all Americans, they own 0.5%. Let's take this to the extreme. The lower 80% of people, so 80% of America, sorted by the monetary distribution, they own 7% of the nation's wealth, which is crazy. 7% all distributed among 80% of the people. That's crazy. So there you have it. I don't vote because a simple vote won't fix these issues that we have today. Thank you for watching.